Choosing a new TV can seem pretty straightforward. Pick the right size for you and get the cheapest one because they're all the same, right? Well, maybe in theory, but in reality, very soon after you buy it, you'll start noticing some small annoyances that will make it clear why some TVs are cheaper and some are more expensive. Surely a brand logo on the front will often be a reason behind the higher price, but in most cases a more expensive TV will be equipped with a better panel, more advanced backlight, have better image processing and overall higher build quality. With all these factors in place, similarly sized TVs can vary a lot in price, for example $300 to $3,000. So where exactly is the sweet spot where the TV offers the most value without paying for any extra stuff you can do without? If you ask Hisense, TV that we're testing today would be the answer. Hisense H50B7500 costs about 450 British pounds on Amazon, which is the price bracket of not cheap but affordable 50-inch TVs, but also the amount of money that will get you some cheaper 55-inch models. This company has a reputation of making devices that offer a good quality-price ratio, many of which we've had a chance to test before, so this year's B7500 line of TVs also aims to offer the best bang for your buck. Available sizes range from 43 inches up to 75 inches, but for our test we've got the 50-inch model. Unlike some of the higher tier TVs, like Hisense U7B, H50B7500 is completely made of plastic. However, it is a quality plastic, so build quality was not compromised in any way, and to make it look more expensive, Hisense made the bottom bezel and the stand look like a brushed aluminum. Stand is perhaps unusual since curved lines are the current trend, although its sharp edges do make the TV look authentic and different. Back of the stand also serves as a cable management system. Speaking of cables, all the connectors are available on the side for easier access. You'll find 3 HDMI 2.0 ports, 2 USBs, as well as antenna and satellite connectors and an optical audio input. A small separate section on the back also contains composite input as well as local area network port, and above it there is also a common interface plus. TV is of course equipped with Bluetooth and a 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi. Screen is surrounded by a frame with a seamless unibody design, even though there's no protective glass, and there is also an additional few millimeter wide black margin between the frame and the actual portion of the screen that displays the picture. Screen is not particularly reflexive, which is good news for those who use the TV in rooms with a strong light source. As we expect from Hisense, TV comes with a very high contrast VA panel. We measured it at 5200 to 1, and it certainly gives this TV a great starting point. Even though it's equipped with a direct LED backlight, B7500 does not implement any local dimming, only a dynamic control of all the backlights, so the black levels will vary depending on whether you're watching a brighter or a darker scene. Maximum brightness is officially 300 nits, although B7500 achieved 370 in our measurements, pretty good but still a bit short of HDR 400 requirements. It can of course play HDR content and map the dynamic range to the one that TV is able to produce, while offering support for all the current HDR standards. Panel has 10 bits per color channel, actually 8 bits plus FRC, and measure gamut covers a very good 84.6% of DCI-P3 color space. This is where B7500 is even ahead of a more expensive U7B model, while also offering a more accurate color reproduction. Cinema Night mode gave us a delta E deviation of 2.3, which is a good accuracy we've come to expect from Hisense, and traditionally one of the brand's strong points. Refresh rate is 60 Hz, expected at this price since 120 Hz is reserved for a much higher price point, but it is important to note that this model offers practically all the important image processing algorithms, like proper 24 FPS movie format reproduction, and fixing blur and stutter, which can often be missing from non-high-end models. Sound is pretty loud and offers a good balance throughout the frequency spectrum, but only up to a point. A lack of lower portion of bass is noticeable, while sub-bass is completely absent. There is, however, a bass boost option, as well as a 5-band equalizer that can somewhat compensate for this and make the sound pretty decent. As for its smart capabilities, B7500 comes with VIDA-U OS we've seen on previous Hisense TVs, except this time it's a somewhat redesigned version 3.0, which aims for a simpler user interface that will allow you to access any option or app in 3 steps max. You control it via a pretty standard remote that comes with plenty of keys for direct access to most often used functions. Home, directional and menu keys will certainly get the most use, as well as dedicated keys for YouTube and Netflix. Although visually not as exciting as Tizen or WebOS, operating system is practical for everyday use and also pretty fast thanks to its simplicity. TV is run by a quad-core processor whose limits you may notice in certain moments, in the form of a slight stutter in scenes that are harder to process, but it generally does an okay job at this price point. Redesigned Apps Now App Store contains a selection of video and music services, useful apps, some simpler games, and content for kids. All in all, H50B7500 leaves a good impression in everyday use, so much so that most users would probably not notice any significant difference in image quality between this TV and more expensive models with similar specs. Naturally, TVs with much higher maximum brightness are something else, but as you usually won't find them at less than double the price, we do think this model is worth the purchase and deserves our value for money award. I hope you enjoyed this review. There will be more to come on this channel. We test TVs, monitors, phones, PC and gaming gear, so make sure to follow us for more content like this.